Will Bunch, national opinion columnist for the Philadelphia Inquirer. Welcome to you, Will. You recently had a column in the Inquirer. The headline reads, "Everything you know from TV about Pennsylvania and fracking is wrong." Set the record straight for us.
Well, thanks for having me on, Marni. And you did a pretty good job in the intro there and setting this up. I mean, the truth is that Pennsylvania is very divided about fracking. And the point I was trying to make in that column is that's not really what you see when it's discussed on TV. What I hear again and again is Pennsylvania is a fracking state, and therefore it must be political suicide in Pennsylvania if you oppose fracking. And that's kind of what came across in that clip from the September presidential debate that you just played, right? You had Trump very pro-fracking on the offense, and Kamala Harris was kind of defensive about saying, yes, I'm pro-fracking too. And the thing is, and I appreciate you showing that survey, the truth is the state is at least split down the middle. And that poll that you showed was particularly instructive because it gave people three choices, ban fracking now, phase it out over time, but fairly quickly, or keep doing it. And when you add in the two choices of either ban it now or phase it out, you can see that adds up to about 55% compared to only 31% supporting fracking. And who's speaking for these voters? Pennsylvania is a state with a great tradition of environmentalism going all the way back to the Audubon Society that was founded here. And there are people who live in these communities with fracking who don't like the noise, don't like the pollution. They've seen the studies now that show there's serious health threats, including even an increased risk of childhood cancer. And then you have a lot of voters who maybe don't live in fracked areas, or they might live near pipelines, or they might just be concerned that as a society, we're not doing enough to phase out fossil fuels to address climate change. And nobody's really speaking to those voters and appealing to them. And I think that's unfortunate for Pennsylvania.
Yeah, well, and as you lay this out, Will, it's clear that there are layers to this important political debate, one of which is it a source for income and jobs? How many people depend on fracking as an industry, and where do they stand right now?
Yeah, over the last 15 years, we've tended to see overinflated numbers from advocates for the industry in terms of the number of jobs that fracking is going to create. It's not really the most labor-intensive process. And in fact, over the last year or two, the number of jobs that are directly linked to fracking and those types of activities has fallen from about 35,000 in Pennsylvania to about 20,000, under 20,000, I believe. So you're not talking, you're talking about like one large auto plant, basically. And I don't want to write it off. Pennsylvania, we need all the jobs we can get. And it's true that there are ancillary jobs, truck drivers, bartenders in communities where a lot of these workers live. And there's also citizens who profit from leases of their land to oil companies. So those are people who benefit, but it's a very tiny fraction of the Pennsylvania economy. People are aware of the fracking debate. Frankly, it was kind of a bigger issue here, I think, in the 2010s than it is now, or at least until it came up suddenly in the presidential race with the arrival of Kamala Harris.
Yeah, well, we're learning a lot more about it now and understanding why it's important and some of the different factors into that discussion. Will, I'm out of time, but thank you so much for your insight. Thank you for watching. Go to NewsNationNow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.